Fong King continuously absorbs Toriko's attacks, becoming more ferocious with each strike. King Octopus Kong on this side is also formidable, growing numerous suction cups. Despite Sunny's attempt to restrain it, it throws him far away. Mount Turtle, on the other hand, unleashes increasingly powerful shots, catching Zebra off guard. Invade Death enlarges its head and fires a barrage of toxic projectiles at Coco and Kiss. It bombards the sky with so many poisonous bullets that both Kiss and Coco are hit and fall. The situation worsens, causing the people to fall silent in worry. Some even collapse, but Tina still believes in the four heavenly kings. Fong King's attacks are blocked by Toriko, while Zebra remains unaffected. These blows do nothing to him. Sunny worries about his hair being damaged in the battle with the ugly octopus. Although Invade Death is formidable, Coco is a master of toxins. When the four heavenly kings are seen unharmed, the people cheer up again. The emotional changes happen too quickly. Rin opens her laptop to review Chairman Igo's messages, as Zebra did not listen earlier. Invade Death now pumps poison directly into the ground to shoot it into the sky, covering a vast area. Coco puts on armor to confront Invade Death because he is not afraid of poison. Queen restrains the octopus's legs, Sunny uses his super long and smooth hair to attack, and Zebra uses the sound bazooka to blow away Mount Turtle. In the sky, a shower of shooting stars falls directly on Invade Death. Toriko asks Fong King a few questions and will let it know what the principles of gourmet food are and why this anime is called Toriko. Chairman Igo reveals the truth: there are not four true beasts, only one. The true beast sent these four into the human world. In other words, they are the limbs of the true beast. But more importantly, someone is controlling these four beasts in the shadows. The people now cheer for the four heavenly kings. Teppei looks at the monitor but senses something underground. Fong King roars angrily. Toriko tells Terry to stay aside while he fights Fong King alone. Toriko rushes forward with a flying sword technique. But Fong King, with its fast speed, evades. Toriko then concentrates his strength, creating thousands of forks and gathering them into one giant fork, which he thrusts forward. In the sky, Fong King, unable to evade in time, is knocked down. Coco has now created a bow of arrogance and fights Invade Death with toxins. He shoots toxic arrows into its body, creating a new toxin called the virus toxin, which breaks down the antibodies of creatures with many antibodies like this one. Coco's hand creates a poisonous spear, and he throws it straight at Invade Death, making it stand still. Sunny believes that the octopus's many tentacles cannot compare to his beautiful hair. He uses his hair strands to tightly bind the octopus, then employs his devilish hair to practice boxing. Finally, he delivers a devastating blow that the octopus cannot defend against, sending it flying sideways for meters. Zebra then says Mount Turtle is just a slow, small turtle. He rushes forward and delivers a sonic punch to the turtle's face. Putting this turtle in a pot to stew with vegetables would make a fantastic soup. That way, Zebra could eat 10 of them in one go without any problem. Zebra then determined to defeat this turtle to have a delicious meal. Rin then relayed the message to the four heavenly kings and said that there is only one beast, which is the final message from Chairman Igo. The four beasts then jumped up and burrowed underground. Zebra immediately used sound waves to search for them and found that they were fleeing, so he rode his horse to chase after them. The leader of the four beasts, its roots, had grown strong underground and formed large creatures over many centuries. In the past, President Ichiryu alone would handle it, but now he hopes the four heavenly kings will unite to defeat it. At this moment, the monster is changing its plan to enter the center of the human world. People in the evacuation area are ecstatic about the four heavenly kings' absolute victory, but after observing the TV screen, they notice something abnormal. Underneath the submarine, something suddenly appears and blocks it. They are roots creeping all over underground. Terry is accelerating to take everyone to where the monster is hiding. Coco uses electric waves, Sunny uses connection abilities, and Zebra and his horse are following their own sound waves. In the city, the tree roots have emerged from the ground and are attacking central buildings. The city is deserted, and the monster freely destroys the buildings in delight. After wreaking havoc for a while, the monster emerges from the ground, revealing its true form. In the gourmet city, the people are stunned by its appearance. It continues to ravage the city as if nothing happened. Terry, Toriko, and Komatsu are rushing at full speed to reach the monster. People in the city are evacuating in panic. Mr. Zong appears out of nowhere and stops Tina, asking why they are panicking like this. He's really clueless, the situation is critical, people are running away, and he's here asking questions. The monster destroys all the skyscrapers and grows more tentacles to capture the remaining people. It senses the aura of the four heavenly kings behind it. Teppei below uses trees to protect the collapsing buildings. Below ground, the four beasts gathered with their master, who absorbed all the nutrients from them. The four heavenly kings, observing from a distance, noticed that after being satiated, the monster became even larger and more powerful, spewing a kind of foam into the sky, creating a green rain. Coco described it as a cursed rain, stating that if humans were hit by this toxin, they would die within an hour. Therefore, Coco urged everyone to go to Yuda's gourmet tower to bathe immediately, as he had detoxifying food. Yuda, observing from afar, also noticed the dire situation. At that moment, Komatsu and Daruma Horse were tasked with retrieving the antidote. The four heavenly kings assembled a battle plan to defeat this monstrous green creature. On the other hand, Mr. Zong still thought it was a film trick, while Teppei continued repairing the collapsed buildings. Toriko couldn't detect any scent emitted by the monster. Zebra heard its normal breathing and heartbeat. Coco observed that its electric waves were not chaotic, and there was no sign of imminent death on its body. Sunny, unimpressed, criticized the ugly monster. Before everyone could prepare, Zebra ran to inform them. Coco acknowledged his actions, recognizing the need to send a message to millions of people in the area. Zebra's threatening messages were indeed effective. Then Zebra used thunder sound, followed by a thunderous punch on the monster. Komatsu reached Yuda, who hesitated to provide the antidote, saying it was impossible at the moment. On the other side, Zebra was punched far away by the green-skinned monster, infuriating him. Kiss disrupted its vision with its fur, while Coco covered himself with poison armor, but their attacks were futile. Yuda could produce the antidote, but providing it for 100 million people at this moment was impossible. Even at the fastest pace, only 100,000 people could be helped. Queen tied its legs. Sunny used his hair demon to strike, but the punch transmitted through the creature's body and struck Queen, leaving Sunny unable to move and falling down. Toriko below used continuous punches, but the resilient monster remained unaffected. Rin measured its power level to be 320. Yuda needed skilled individuals, and Setsuno and her apprentice Nono arrived. Is the top-ranked cooking server high enough for Yuda? Now the level of the monster has not stopped at 320 but has risen to 350. Seeing the national treasures arrive, Mr. Yuda was delighted, but he believed that several more chefs were still needed. The head chef of the Disappear restaurant, Kairu, had also arrived, along with the top underground world chef, Livebearer. The top 4 Damala Sky 13 from Damala's curry restaurant, Lulubu, the head chef and owner of the 7-star traditional Japanese restaurant, Sarara Mama, ranked 31st as the head chef of Snack Bar, and Sumayer. The cafeteria manager at Nacom Gourmet School, all came. All the world's top chefs had gathered. The person inviting them was Johannes from Igo, a cool and dangerous guy with black glasses. Outside, the 4 heavenly kings had been knocked down in all directions. Rin saw the situation was not good, so he sprayed smoke to conceal everyone. Toriko advised Rin to stay away from this place because normal people would dissolve due to this green rain. Teppei summoned plants to help them cover from the rain and temporarily escape the monster's sight. Teppei revealed that the toxicity of this rain was very strong, and the longer it lasted, the weaker the 4 heavenly kings would become. He discovered that Rin's mist could weaken the curse rain's density. Teppei told her to stand in a high place and spray mist to reduce the toxicity in the rainwater. After Rin left, Teppei revealed to everyone his suspicion that someone had secretly incited the 4 beasts to rise and destroy the world. Inside the top restaurant, Yuda revealed that the antidote was mochi, a traditional Japanese rice cake made from glutinous rice. Based on the principle of opposing colors, the mochi had to be purple to neutralize the toxicity of the green rain. However, with limited time, everyone feared they couldn't make enough antidote for 100 million people. Moreover, mochi had to be made from special ingredients, meaning any slight mistake in the preparation would ruin it, something only world-class chefs could handle. Even if everyone tried their best, they could only save a maximum of 50 million people. At this point, when the rain began to show signs of stopping, Rin was on the roof of a high-rise building using mist spraying devices to limit the rain. On the other hand, the monster was too powerful. Even though the 4 heavenly kings continuously attacked it, it could still knock everyone down one by one. On this side, after hearing that only 50 million people could be saved, Komatsu asked everyone for a chance. He was determined to find the simplest way to make a purple mochi even an ordinary chef could do. Livebearer also called his friend Thailand, the 19th ranked chef in the world, whom nobody understands about poison as he does. After thorough discussion, the chefs decided to give Komatsu 10 minutes to come up with the simplest way to make purple mochi. They provided Komatsu with a quiet space to be creative. In the kitchen, Komatsu was dealing with the most critical ingredient for making the purple mochi, which was the color-changing glutinous rice. He had to mix different colored rice to balance them and achieve a perfect purple color. Any minor mistake could lead to the rice losing its color and the experiment failing. Meanwhile, the city residents received a message from the Igo organization. Thailand revealed the truth about the curse rain. Those touched by the rain would ascend to heaven within an hour. At first, Zong was clueless and didn't believe it, but after hearing that Thailand was an expert in cooking poisonous dishes, Zong and his gang became serious and concerned. Thailand instructed everyone on acupressure methods to slow down the toxin's development in the body and prolong life. 3 minutes had passed for Komatsu, and as he remained silent, people outside grew worried. Kairu, who had witnessed Komatsu's cooking technique and learning ability, believed Komatsu would not disappoint. Facing difficult circumstances, he would progress quickly. Outside, the 4 heavenly kings continued to be pummeled by the monster. If they weren't all-powerful hunters, they would have been defeated long ago. At this moment, Komatsu had only 1 minute left. Everyone thought he had failed, so they prepared to follow the initial plan. However, Komatsu emerged with a bag of purple mochi in hand, proving himself. Everyone in the room quickly summoned the chefs, all of whom had to obey Komatsu's orders. The IGO organization gathered all the chefs worldwide, totaling over 100,000, in a short time. Now everyone was working together to save the world. Komatsu then instructed everyone on how to make purple mochi. First, they had to soak the color-changing rice in water and salt. After soaking, the rice was steamed for 30 seconds. Then ground into flour after steaming. A little sesame oil was added, and finally, the mixture was kneaded into round shapes, resulting in deliciously soft mochi. Komatsu took only 3 minutes to make this mochi. Actually, the sesame oil wasn't necessary, but it enhanced the flavor of the mochi, making the antidote taste better. Everyone was horrified to find the 4 heavenly kings incapacitated, with Zebra barely able to breathe. The poison from the green rain had weakened them immensely. Suddenly, Toriko remembered Godfather saying that when the 4 beasts were heavily injured, their meat would taste as delicious as the finest fruits and vegetables. It turned out the meat of this monster was indeed delicious. Everyone tried their best to defeat it and then cook it. The monster, hearing this, unleashed a wave of destruction energy toward everyone, but Zebra protected them with his sound armor. When the monster attempted another attack, Terry kicked into its mouth. The pet force was tasked with dealing with the monster to buy time, while the 4 heavenly kings prepared to perform a technique Godfather had taught them. The condition for using this technique was for the 4 of them to reach an extreme hunger state. If successful, they would generate a special energy of the top predator in the gourmet food chain. On this side, the monster had its 1 arm and 1 leg broken by Queen, but quickly behind its back. Hundreds of giant tentacles regenerated. The monster used these tentacles to grab Terry and threw him to the ground, brutally beating him, causing Terry severe injuries. Coco's Emperor Crow and Sunny's Queen were also quickly defeated by the monster, losing their ability to fight. Suddenly, something unexpectedly started shining. It turned out that the 4 heavenly kings had successfully created gourmet energy. The monster immediately rushed forward, but the scenery around suddenly changed. The monster found itself on the dining table of the 4 hungry demon kings, and in gourmet culture, delicious food should be shared. The gourmet energy had awakened, turning into a mouth and entering the body of the monster, starting to bite and swallow everything inside it. When it was full, it emerged outside again, even devouring the newly grown arm of the monster. The 4 heavenly kings stood watching with great joy. Gourmet beasts were just food for gourmet energy. Inside the body of the monster, everything was about to be eaten up. Despite all its efforts, it couldn't escape. As the mouth kept eating, the monster quickly shrank until it was tiny. When the sun shone through the clouds, only 2 small orange pieces of meat remained, and the monster had been defeated. Elsewhere, Tepe discovered a mysterious figure in a black cloak, suspecting him to be the mastermind behind the awakening of the 4 beasts. Luckily, the 4 heavenly kings' pets were only slightly injured and quickly recovered. Komatsu then brought purple mochi to everyone to neutralize the poison in their bodies. The mochi was soft and chewy, and the antidote was delicious. At that moment, the meat in the sky suddenly exploded. It turned out that those who had been eaten by the 4 beasts were still alive. They quickly reunited with their families. The remaining meat fell down, emitting a tantalizing aroma. Zebra seized the opportunity to eat a big piece, making Sunny furious. The remaining meat was quickly transported to the chefs to prepare food for everyone to enjoy. There were fried rice, curry, hamburgers, beef steak, gourmet grilled meat, and many other dishes served to everyone. The 4 kings also sat down to eat enthusiastically. Zebra even called for more delicious dishes to be brought up. Finally, humanity was saved, and everyone enjoyed a satisfying meal of gourmet meat. In the 4 kings' assembly, there were still 2 people eating, so Komatsu had to stay behind to serve Toriko and Zebra. Tepe, in a daze, encountered a nightmare and gasped for breath as he woke up on a recovery bed. He was in the laboratory of a 4-armed girl named Pukin, with the Sicea medical town having rescued Tepe. Pukin provided Tepe with hazelnuts, butter, and calorie-rich bananas, all foods meant for recovery. Later, Pukin informed Tepe that the mystery person who scared him was her master, Mohayan Sheishai, a Sicea possessing the world's strongest technique, also one of the gourmet national treasures like Ms. Setsuno. Therefore, it was possible that he was the one who revived the 4 beasts. After talking with Tepe for a while, Pukin noticed that Tepe's scar was getting bigger. In the gourmet city, people were still eating and discussing the group's victory. Zebra was still not full and kept demanding more food from Komatsu. There was an abundance of food on the table, and Zebra's greed knew no bounds. Yuta and Setsuno praised Komatsu's cooking skills, noting that besides hearing the voice of ingredients, what made Komatsu outstanding was his affection for them. Setsuno wanted to introduce him to the G7, but Yuda believed Komatsu was already among the top-ranked chefs. While they were enjoying themselves, Toriko pondered about the words of the GT robot, promising to meet him at the cooking festival. While accompanying everyone to find the ingredients assigned by Shiryu, Toriko felt his strength increase significantly with each battle. Everyone looked up at the endless starry sky and thanked Komatsu wholeheartedly. In the gourmet world at Snow Mountain Hill, IGO's president learned of the defeat of the four beasts by the four heavenly kings, but the real enemy had not yet revealed himself. In the president's hand was a unique kitchen knife made by Milk I, emitting a dangerous golden light. However, the IGO president stated that he would only use this knife to make salad, seemingly making light of the situation. Toriko and Terry went off to train again, when suddenly a monster appeared. The guardian of the mountain Toriko was training on. Luckily, its meat was delicious, so Toriko had to focus his strength, using a powerful punch to send it flying thousands of miles and shattering the mountain. Its meat was as tasty as Wagyu beef but incredibly tough. Toriko looked at Terry and recalled the time with Rin, where she tried to measure Terry's level with her device but got an error. It couldn't be determined because the maximum level the device could measure was level 999. Indeed, Toriko's beloved pet had to be that strong to be worthy. Johannes arrived with luggage to Toriko's location and handed him a message from IGO. They wanted the four heavenly kings to provide some ingredients for the cooking festival, which was to be held on Cooking Island, where all the chefs would gather. On this day, billions of people were expected to attend, and the event would be broadcast live worldwide. Due to the four beasts' invasion, the ingredients prepared for the festival were lacking. 8 botanical gardens were severely damaged and unable to supply the ingredients. The ecosystem was also severely disrupted, and the ingredients IGO requested from Toriko were creatures from the gourmet world. In IGO's hotel, Komatsu had become world famous for making detoxifying mochi. The manager now looked at Komatsu with great satisfaction and thanked him. Thanks to him, the restaurant's business was thriving, and the manager worried that someone might kidnap Komatsu. Just as he finished speaking, Toriko appeared. Outside the G7 members' hall, Kit and Peinomi. They came to inform Komatsu that he had made it to the top 88 of the world chef rankings and was eligible to participate in the cooking festival. Toriko and Komatsu set out to find new ingredients for the festival. This was the first place they came to catch Galala crocodiles, but this time, the area was much more dangerous as it was filled with gourmet world creatures. Komatsu felt worried about whether he could perform well at the cooking festival. Although his cooking skills were improving, he still lacked confidence. While pondering, Toriko was suddenly attacked, prompting him to retaliate with a flying knife. It turned out to be Takemaro and Imaro greeting them. Both revealed they were helping clean up the remnants of seeds scattered by the four beasts. Now, they would accompany Toriko and Komatsu. Komatsu felt that the place was quite peaceful, mainly because all the creatures in the area had been eaten by the four beasts. Komatsu was curious about the seeds scattered by the four beasts. Imaro then asked Komatsu if he knew about thorny fruits. These fruits had sharp thorns that stuck to animal fur, germinating when embedded. The four beasts brought many here, and although Toriko knew, he kept quiet, thinking they could resolve it easily. Apart from their duty to nature, Imaro and Takemaro came because they heard the four heavenly kings were searching for festival ingredients, and Takemaro wanted to accompany Toriko. Sani and Queen arrived at the Death Falls. Due to the four beasts' attack, the mountains here were destroyed, preventing them from obtaining fish oil. Sani couldn't push back the waterfalls before, but now, he had changed, becoming even more handsome and stronger. Sani sensed someone had been following him for a while. It was the fried food chef, Oil King Wabutora, also known as the culinary genius Oil. He came here for fish oil, known for its flavor and popularity. Sani offered to explore together. Meanwhile, Coco dressed up and went to the casino where he met Match. Coco was tasked with finding ingredients at the casino, but Match refused to cooperate with IGO, so there was no obligation to supply food for the festival. Knowing this, Coco came to gamble and bet on food. The Toriko gang continued steadily but hadn't encountered anything strange yet. Toriko smelled the scent of metanol, a chemical used to enhance the sweetness of fruits, which was currently underground. Just as they finished speaking, flesh-eating flowers emerged from the ground, and they were creatures from the gourmet world, not just one but 3. Toriko tried to block them with Forkamore, but they easily pierced through and attacked Komatsu. Toriko used his flying knife to chop them down, while Takemaro also attacked, but the flowers didn't die, instead, more of them appeared. This is why they were dubbed gourmet demons. After Toriko cut down one, roots emerged from the ground. Imaro believed they had to destroy them at the root, otherwise, they would regrow and attack again. Toriko decided to confront them alone and entrusted Komatsu's safety to Takemaro and Imaro. Toriko unleashed 50 nail punches, creating a fierce shockwave. Imaro and Takamaru observed how much Toriko had changed over time. Sunny was quite surprised when Wabutora walked on water because his body was coated in oil, making him wonder why he couldn't detect how to find oil here. Afterward, Sunny taunted Wabutora, making him quite annoyed and wanting to have a fight with Sunny. Coco and Match went to the casino. Coco inquired about King Jita, and Match recounted that he and Chef Joe had disappeared. Coco suspected that the mastermind behind everything was the Bishakukai and then rolled the dice. Zebra returned to the pyramid in the Gourmet Desert and met his old friend, the Sphinx. The root of the plant creature had appeared in its original form. Called Mon plant. It contained chestnuts because it smelled of methanol and furanol. It shot sharp thorns, but Toriko's flying knife didn't affect it. Toriko found it very strange, but the stranger it was, the more delicious it could be. Toriko displayed his knife skills, and although the plant creature dodged, the knife struck its head, shattering its protective shell. Toriko delivered another blow to its mouth, but the plant's ability to regenerate was formidable. Meanwhile, the Oil King opened a bottle of super spicy chili sauce and swallowed it all in one breath, making Sunny feel a sore throat just by looking at him. He began to excrete oily substances, intending to pass through the swift-flowing waters of Death Falls. Back in the Gourmet Casino, Coco decided the outcome of a red-black game to determine victory or defeat and gather rare ingredients here. Zebra gently advised the Sphinx to cry quickly to avoid his anger. Back to the battle between Toriko and the monstrous plant, Toriko innovatively created a new technique infused with the destructive power of 50 spikes, delivering a devastating punch that shattered the creature's body, ultimately succeeding in defeating the target. He decided to name this technique the Supersonic Spike Shot. Regarding the Oil King's oil, it could only block the rushing water but not the falling rocks, which led to Sunny's dissatisfaction and many complaints. After Toriko defeated the monstrous plant, Komatsu used the ingredients from its body to make food for everyone. The flavor was incredibly delicious, but Toriko, being a bit gluttonous, ended up eating the entire portion of ingredients that was supposed to be brought back to the IGO organization. At this moment, the appearance of an old man made Komatsu extremely nervous, and it turned out his identity was Zoz, the king of cooking, the top-ranked chef. Zoz had won the cooking festival championship a whopping 14 times, and even a touch of his hand was enough to turn the super tough outer shell of the monstrous plant into dust. Upon receiving news of the upcoming cooking festival, all chefs from around the world had gathered on the famous culinary island to take on the challenge. In a certain vehicle, Toriko was happily enjoying his meal, while Komatsu appeared worried because he had decided to register for this competition. His opponents were all top-tier chefs, and Komatsu mainly joined to get their autographs rather than out of confidence. The vehicle quickly brought the two to the location of the cooking festival, a highly renowned holy ground for chefs. As soon as Toriko stepped out of the luxury car, everyone there hunted him down like Korean idols. Sunny found this creepy and created an invisible shield to protect himself from the fanatical fans. Coco simply warned not to touch him if they didn't want to be logged out, while Zebra, with his fierce face, scared people off just by being seen. Finally, Komatsu was warmly welcomed by everyone for discovering the simplified way to make mochi, saving the world. Soon after, some familiar faces like the live bearer and Setsuno also appeared, followed shortly by the IGO's black suit guards. They were here to ensure everyone's safety from something Toriko was also aware of. Reporter Tina quickly reported that many people had gathered at the cooking stadium, with a capacity of over 100 million. Outside the stadium, over 3 billion people were watching the festival on television and online platforms. The winner would receive the title of Super Chef, a feat achieved by only 5 people in the world. Zebra didn't care much about that, he was only concerned about filling his stomach. Meanwhile, in the stands, Uncle Zong was extremely annoyed sitting on a cheap folding chair. At this moment, the host with the microphone declared the official opening of the 50th Cooking Festival. Thank you for watching the Toriko Gourmet Hunter video. If you found it enjoyable, please subscribe, like, share, and comment your thoughts. Thanks for watching.